Hello, the title of this video presentation is The Ultimate MLM Business, and this presentation is dedicated to MLM and network marketing enthusiasts and anyone who desires perfect health and abundant wealth. My name is Oliver Sagala, and my background, I've been in real estate for many years, and also I am an MLM and network marketing practitioners in various industries. But recently I joined a company called Canaway, and my position in the company is a brand ambassador since June 2017. And I'm very passionate about this company, and that's the reason why I put this video presentation. Now, before I go on with this presentation, I'd like to explain to you the pain factor. And this is a real fact. The strongest human motivation is to avoid and get rid of physical pain at any cost. And big pharma companies absolutely understand this principle, and they capitalize on this and make hundreds billions of dollars profit yearly on producing and selling drugs to the consumer. But more and more people realize that synthetic drug doesn't work, which slowly but surely destroying people's health. More people now are looking into natural alternative medicine. Therefore, CBD hemp oil is gaining momentum big time. Now, why MLM and network marketing? Well, for the producer of product or services is the fastest way to distribute their product or service to the end user consumer. And their customers, they can recruit them, become their distributors, those avoiding middlemen and fixed distribution costs to their product or services. Now, for the consumer, they can enjoy high quality product directly from producer for less cost, and also they have an opportunity to start a business for a very small cost as a distributor to gain profit and potentially to get long-term residual income. But the question is though, why high failures in MLM? There are several factors. Number one, the bad intention of the operator. They manipulate the MLM system. They actually don't have real products or services, and they use a gimmick product or service as to legalize their MLM operation, but actually their intention is to deceive people. And secondly, the operator offers product but not their own with no significant value. Their aim is to make profit fast and offer high commission to top recruiter by front loading the participants with overpriced product or services. So this is the company that actually don't have any product. They can go maybe to Utah somewhere, to brand label a certain product, but in reality, it's not their product at all and don't really have any significant value. The third one, the operators make and offer genuine products, but something the consumers can buy similar item in store for less price. And that way, people, why do I have to pay overpriced product? I can buy the same at the store. And usually also this company, their compensation plan is not attractive. And in my opinion, this is the reason why a lot of MLM fail. Now, you heard about gold rush in 19th century, and gold rush of 19th century happened in Northern California. There were about 300,000 people rushed into California, and they created some wealthy people because of this gold rush. But in 21st century, that's what the new term is called green rush, and it's based in Southern California, San Diego. It's bringing the much needed ancient health benefits of CBD hemp products, not only to California and the United States, but also to the world. And we believe we will create thousands of new millionaires in MLM in this green rush era. Now, with that in mind, I would like to welcome you to the world of Canaway, the CBD movement company. And again, the purpose of this presentation is to educate people about CBD hemp health benefits. And before we go on, there are several terms I would like to want you to understand. CBD stands for cannabidiol. It's a chemical compound found in cannabis plant. Unlike THC, CBD does not produce any psychoactive effects. Instead, it is part of the cannabis plant that holds the highest medicinal value. And then another term is THC, which stands for tetrahydrocannabinol, is the psychoactive compound in marijuana that make a person get high if they smoke it. And another term is GMO, stand for genetically modified organism, is a genetic modification or engineering on plant or livestock animal for human foods. There are two major cannabis plants. Number one is marijuana, of course, and secondly is hemp. And marijuana is very high content of THC and very low content of CBD. On the other hand, hemp, very high content of CBD and very low or minimal content of THC. Another very important terminology that we need to know, ECS, which stands for endogenous cannabinoid system or endocannabinoid system, is the human body's largest self-regulatory system and is calibrated with our plant-based CBD hemp products. Now, with that in mind, I would like to invite you to watch the first two introduction video. Please pay attention to this video.
What is it about hemp that's so controversial? Why is it always in the news lately? And is it only because it's tied to medical marijuana? Can it be good? I'll leave the legal discussion to the lawyers. What I'm interested in are potential health benefits. You know, hemp, cannabis, that plant that can be legally grown all over the world and is often used in marijuana production. With all this news, I decided to do a little digging and to try to figure out why hemp is so controversial. I mean, hard liquor is legal and it has no redeeming health qualities whatsoever. So does hemp have any redeeming qualities? We'll find out. With us is the author of Cancer, Step Outside the Box, Ty Bollinger. Hi, Ty. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Carol.
One of the really incredible things I was reading about in your book was hemp.
Yeah.
Marijuana, basically.
Right.
Tell us the history of hemp, because I found this quite unusual.
Well, hemp has the reputation now as being this evil weed. But the medicinal history of hemp is quite fascinating. Back as far back as the 1930s, there were medicinal hemp tinctures in almost every pharmacy in the United States.
Hang on, I want to go even further back.
Yeah.
Didn't you write in your book that Washington and Jefferson and Lincoln and all these presidents actually grew hemp, so it was legal to grow everywhere?
They did.
And they could use it as they wanted to use it?
Yes, as a matter of fact, some farmers in the colony of Virginia were required to grow hemp. And so it's such a good fiber, very good for making clothes, a lot of different industrial uses for hemp.
Ford thought it was strong enough to make a car out of it, and he did. It was as strong as steel.
Yeah, one of the first Model Ts was actually made from hemp, and it ran on hemp fuel.
And then the enemy of hemp was William Randolph Hearst.
With paper. Well, yeah,
Explain
with newspapers. Well, hemp is a much more efficient way to make paper. In 1 acre of hemp, you can do 10 times the amount of paper than 1 acre of trees.
So why did he want it outlawed?
Because he owned thousands of acres of forest that he owned paper.
So this was a political thing. It had really nothing to do with hemp itself.
Exactly. It really didn't. It was more about the money. It was more about eliminating the competition. And so that's why hemp was demonized and thought of as this evil weed. They put out propaganda films like Reefer Madness and so forth to make people afraid of hemp. When in reality, that's one small use of hemp, the recreational use, which is we call it marijuana. But that was a slang term that they developed to make people afraid of it.
Oh, heck, Mary Jane, doobies, everything. I mean, they've got a lot of slang terms for it. So in the 1930s, they made tinctures. What were they making the tinctures for, and why were they doing these tinctures?
Well, I mean, the medicinal uses of hemp are just numerous. The hemp helps, well, we can talk about the cancer effects of hemp, but it helps with inflammation. It's very anti-inflammatory. It helps with seizures. It's very effective with PTSD for the vets that are coming back that have post-traumatic traumatic stress disorder. Mm-hmm. Very effective at treating that. It's an anti-inflammatory. But then the uses of hemp for cancer, what I've studied, because of my book, Cancer, Step Outside the Box, and the number of cancers, there's about a dozen different cancers that have been studied in depth with medicinal marijuana, with hemp. And so the studies, from brain cancer to prostate cancer to pancreatic cancer, uterine cancer, cervical cancer, prostate cancer, it's amazing.
Okay, so what is in hemp that it's this THC, correct?
Well, there's chemicals that are called cannabinoids.
Right.
THC is short for delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol,
I'm glad you said it because I couldn't.
That's the only time I'll get it right. I'm glad I got it right. So that's the one, THC is the one cannabinoid that everyone's familiar with. That's the one that's psychoactive, and that's the one that gets you high if you smoke it.
Okay.
But there's other cannabinoids. One is called CBD, cannabidiol, and it's very medicinally used. There's no psychoactive component of CBD.
So what do? Extract these to make tinctures, or you can make tea out of?
You can make tea, you can eat it. It's a great superfood. You're into raw. A lot of people use raw hemp in their superfoods.
Well, do you get high off of hemp if you eat it as a superfood?
No, well,
or just the seeds.
You've got to heat the THC to make it become psychoactive. So people that eat the plant, they put in a smoothie. You know, there's super green smoothies.
Right.
You're not going to get high off of that because you didn't superheat it.
But is it then, if you put it in the smoothie like that, is it a good prevention to cancer?
It is. It's very well. It's got a perfect ratio of omega-3 to 6 fatty acids. It's got more GLA, gamma-linolenic acid, than any other plant. So it's got some really great fats. You're well aware of the importance of good fats in your diet.
Yeah.
So hemp it's a perfect superfood to eat. But it's also medicinal.
I just never understood why hemp had gotten such a bad rap, and now I understand that it was really politically motivated by somebody who owned basically trees and didn't want to be in competition with the hemp to make paper. And yet, throughout the years after that, so many people suffered because of that.
Yeah.
So I guess it's actually a good thing that people are coming around a little bit.
It is. I'm really encouraged about the different legislation in different states that are trying to legalize medicinal hemp because of the fact that it is so good. It's not just a superfood. It's not just great for industrial uses, as we've mentioned, but it's a really good medicine.
Thank you so much for coming on, Ty. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Carol. Appreciate it.
Throughout history, a humble yet vitally important plant has contributed to the health and prosperity of civilizations both ancient and new. From the Egyptians to the Chinese, the Romans and the Greeks, from the Vikings of Northern Europe to societies in Africa and all over the globe, from colonial times to the Industrial Revolution, and to modern-day United States. This amazing plant has revolutionized economies, used in textiles, paper, housing, agriculture, making roads, foods, medicines, and fuel. It is said that oil derived from this plant was used for holy anointings. While legend has it this plant grew in southern Mesopotamia, in the most famous garden of all, described in religious texts that go back thousands of years, and yet, for the last 75 years and more, your access to this plant's remarkable health and prosperity benefits have been blocked. Some say willfully kept from you, for the people who need it the most, and from a planet that strains to keep its balance. At a time when millions struggle financially, barely getting by, and millions more suffer with pain. In a world where economies teeter on the edge of collapse, where the global ecosystem wobbles like a top spinning out of control, betrayed by those who seek to control what you think, what you believe, what you can ingest, and how far you go in life. We now live in a world desperate for the plant that has been wrongfully taken from you. An amazing plant that nourishes the body, enriches the earth, and as you're about to discover, provides you with the ability to make a difference for your family, your community, and for generations yet to come. Be prepared to witness a story of rebirth, of cultures and economies, of your life, and the life of our precious planet Earth. It's now your time to be part of the solution and learn more about the Canaway hemp lifestyle.
Now with those two videos, you kind of have an understanding about the background and the history of CBD or cannabinoid. Now therefore, I'd like to go deeper about company Canaway. Canaway is built on these 4 pillars. Number 1, it's a family-oriented company, meaning our product can be consumed or used from the youngest in the family, from baby to the oldest. And also our company is sustainable because our our product is renewable materials. It also is driven by science and no guessing, okay, and also is natural and botanical. And our company been featured in many media like Yahoo Finance, Fortune Magazine, USA Today. And our company also called a company of first because we are the first to create a mainstream natural botanical CBD brand, first to launch a respected cannabinoid supplement and pharmaceutical line, also first to develop strict quality standards through rigorous triple lab testing, and also first direct sales company to offer hemp products. At this moment, there is not any other company in the world that offer hemp products in a direct sales method. And then we are the first company to use hemp to combat aging, skin problems, and low vitality. A little bit about the history of hemp. In early 16th century, European settlers grow industrial hemp in the United States. And hemp trade plays a very important role during the War of 1812. And in the midst of 1700s, the founding father of this country, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and John Adams, grow hemp and lobby for commercial hemp production. And little that we know, in 1776, the Declaration of Independence is drafted on hemp paper, and hemp became a staple crop in 1800s American agriculture. And by early 1900s, medical hemp is widely available in American pharmacy and general stores. The question is, how come we don't find any medicinal hemp in pharmacy? After you watch the first two videos, now you understand why. Now, the next slide here is probably the most important slide in all this presentation, because this is in regard to the science behind of our movement, or CBD movement. Endogenous cannabinoid system is the human body's largest self-regulatory system, and it helps balance mood, sleep, appetite, and even hormone production. And it's influence homeostasis and the harmony of all bodily functions. And in this system, they have two receptors. CB1 regulate the nervous system, and CB2 receptor is to regulate and maintain the immune system. And it's also calibrated with our plant-based hemp production. A deficiency in ECS can upset the body's balance. Now, on the next video here, I'll really ask you to pay attention very carefully. And in this video, they will explain by a scientist more detail the relationship between your endogenous cannabinoid system and CBD. So please watch this video very tentatively, and if you understand this video, then you got the point why we must involve in this CBD movement.
The inside story of cannabidiol. A couple of years ago, a remarkable thing happened when CBD became legal in all 50 of the US states. If you remove CBD from the THC coming from the cannabis plant or the hemp plant, CBD is now legal to use as a nutritional supplement. Since that time, of course, the market has exploded with interest. And this conversation today is about the physiological effects of CBD on the human body. Truly, CBD is not just another nutritional supplement. This short conversation is going to accurately describe the intense scientific research that's going on around the world, but in simple language so that everyone understands of why CBD is so important for human physiology. In order to comprehend the significance of CBD to our health, we first have to ask the simple question, what exactly is our health? Is it just the absence of disease? If you don't have symptoms, you must be healthy? Well, it's actually a far more important question and a deeper question than just that. How does human physiology actually work? How is it designed? In general, every aspect of human physiology is based on the balance between polar opposites, between the yin and the yang. This creates homeostasis. When we look at specific parts of our physiology, like the immune system, The yin and the yang, the opposites would be anti-inflammation and inflammation, the negative and the positive. When those two things are in balance, your immune system is functioning properly. If we're talking about our nervous system, then we're talking about the forces of excitation and the forces of inhibition or relaxation. When we're talking about our endocrine system or our hormone system, we have the forces of breaking down tissue or the catabolic hormones, and we have the anabolic hormones which build up tissue. When those two forces are in balance, we have homeostasis of our endocrine or hormone system. If we're talking about oxidation, we have forces of antioxidation and forces of oxidation. Most people think that you have to just take buckets full of antioxidants all the time as if oxidation is bad. Not true. If you didn't have oxidation and the forces of oxidation in your bodies, you couldn't survive even 1 minute. Those two things have to be in balance. They have to be in homeostasis. All of our physiological systems have to be in this constant state of homeostasis, a dynamic balance. The stronger your physiology's ability to stay in homeostasis is, the more robust your capacity to be in homeostasis is, the healthier you are. Next question. What exactly is dynamic balance? This is kind of difficult to understand, and the best way is a model of a mobile. So here we go. We're looking at a mobile. You've probably played with this when you were a kid. Perhaps you even have some of these in your home right now. We have all of these horizontal elements with little strings hanging down from them, and we have these stars hanging at the bottom. In this particular model, the stars represent signaling molecules. If this is a model of your neurology, the stars that are hanging would be the neurotransmitters. If this was a mobile of your endocrine system, your hormone system, then the hanging stars would be hormones. And if this was your immune system, the hanging stars would be cytokines or lymphokines. These are the signaling molecules that make your immune system work. Now, what makes this a dynamic balance is, as you know, if you change anything in this mobile, it affects everything in this mobile. Let's say, for example, that the star down here at the bottom, that's now big and swollen and red, gets weighted down as if you took a paper clip or some weight and attached it to the mobile hanging in your home. That star is going to pull down and everything in the mobile is going to shift. You can't change any one element without affecting every element in a mobile. What's interesting, however, is that initially the mobile is going to go through these oscillations where things are bouncing up and down and shifting up and down until the oscillations slowly quiet and the mobile finds a new point of homeostasis, a new point of balance. Now everything is shifted in the mobile. The stars are all in different locations now, and many of the sticks are no longer horizontal. They're kind of twisted at one angle or another. But our physiologies are so smart that they will find a new point of balance. During the shifting and the oscillation is when you feel sick, when you have symptoms. But our body, our physiology will compensate, and the new balance will be found, and you can continue to function. Now let me explain how modern medicine with pharmaceutical drugs interacts with this system. Let's say you have another one of these stars, another one of these elements that goes a little bit haywire. This star over here on the left. So you're feeling lousy and you go to the doctor, and the doctor does some kind of test and decides, okay, we need to give you a drug. And so you take a drug, some kind of pharmaceutical drug, to deal with this one element over here on the left that's now gone somewhat haywire. And the drug is designed to clamp down on those symptoms. Notice that the drug is designed to deal with exactly that one star, not the entire system of the mobile, but that one star and the symptoms that it's creating. However, we know that pharmaceutical drugs have many, many unintended side effects. And so, because of the drug you're taking now, another star goes haywire, and you have more symptoms, and now you have to take a drug to counteract the symptoms from the first drug. And so you clamp down on that star as well. And then a third one goes haywire. And so you clamp down on that one as well. And let's say now you seem to be stable, you seem to be functioning, and everything is copacetic. Well, is it really? Everything seems to be stable here because the mobile isn't shifting anymore, But let's take a closer look at your system. This is what's actually happening. You now have all sorts of artificial weights attached to your physiology, to your mobile. You can see that your physiology is under a lot of stress. The weight of all these different drugs and these overexpressed stars are pulling down heavily on this mobile, and you can see that some of those bars are now bent because they're under so much tension. One more little thing going wrong with your physiology, perhaps it's something as simple as a cold or a little virus, or some kind of drug interaction that you didn't anticipate, and now something breaks. This system is under so much tension and so much stress that the oscillations would be huge, and you might find yourself in the ICU under life support. So, in a nutshell, pharmaceutical drugs work at the level of the symptoms, not the systems, which causes enormous strain on your human physiology. So I've showed you this in order to point out, to highlight the differences between how pharmaceutical drugs work at the level of the stars and how CBD works. CBD, instead of working at the level of the stars, works at the level of the system of balance, at the nexus of balance. That would be in these crystalline green orbs where the string attaches to the stick. That's where the system knows if it's in balance or out of balance. It can't tell what's happening at the level of the star, but it knows what's happening right there in that green crystalline orb where balance is maintained and established. So in the model that we are using, the mobile, to highlight how our physiology works, that's where CBD works. Now, in our actual physiology, where does CBD work? Let's take a closer look. Here we go. We're going to travel into our physiology, right into our central nervous system. And we're going to see at the level of individual cells that the cell surface is covered with these green receptors. These are receptors for CBD. And when the CBD binds to that receptor, it sends a message into the cell, which travels all the way down into the nucleus of the cell, where the intelligence of our entire physiology is contained within our chromosomes. So here a chromosome is going to unwind, and you're going to see the actual DNA that contains the codes for everything that our body does. This is like the software that runs our physiology. Genes are the codes for every protein that our bodies make, including all the signaling molecules that run our physiology, such as our neurotransmitters that run our nervous system, our hormones that run our endocrine system, and our cytokines that run our immune system. So imagine, for instance, that these are cells in your pancreas making insulin. This is happening in 1 million cells, let's say, all producing huge amounts of insulin to keep your blood sugars in proper balance. Again, your insulin is a hormone, which is a protein. So we see that throughout our physiology, we have receptors specifically designed to bind with CBD, and CBD has its effect on the nucleus of our cells where proteins are being made. So which proteins are being made from the influence of CBD? CBD modulates the transcriptions of over 1,100 genes that make the signaling molecules that naturally reduce inflammation in our central nervous system and throughout our immune system, restoring homeostasis to both our immune and to our central nervous systems. So as you can see on the left side of the slide, CBD upregulates the genes that create anti-inflammatory biochemicals for our immune system and upregulates the GABA system in our central nervous system, which brings calmness to our central nervous system. And on the right side of the slide, we can see that CBD downregulates the genes that create the inflammatory biochemicals in our immune system, and also downregulates the glutamate system in our central nervous system, which causes overexcitation. So now, let's go back to the model of our physiology and see how CBD affects it. We go back to our one star that's out of whack, and now we introduce CBD, and voila! we see a cascade going through all the points of balance in our system, and the mobile comes back to homeostasis, to its original, stable, beautiful balance. Now, our physiological systems are far more complex than the simple mobile that I've been showing you here with only 12 stars. For instance, our immune system has 350 different signaling molecules on it. So it's an enormous mobile, which also explains why there's so many unintended drug interactions. Because if you affect any one of those little stars, it's going to shift all 350 of those other stars. And who could possibly figure that out? So in fact, here's what our immune system actually looks like. And of course, when you introduce CBD to our amazingly complex physiology, in the immune system, the cascade of homeostasis trickles down through all 350 of those stars. It's a beautiful thing. Bottom line, CBD causes a cascade of homeostasis through our entire central nervous system and our entire immune system. So why is this happening? Because, as I mentioned before, we have receptors in our physiology for CBD. This is called the endocannabinoid system. Back in medical school, we didn't even know about the endocannabinoid system. It was only discovered in the 1990s by Dr. Raphael Mechoulam from the Hebrew University in Israel, where an amazing amount of incredible biomedical technology and innovations are coming from that tiny little country. So the endocannabinoid system is a network of cells throughout our body that have receptors for CBD. In fact, there are more receptors for CBD in our body than any other kind of receptor. So the endocannabinoid system is truly the largest network of its kind throughout our entire physiology. Among other things, Dr. Mechoulam also discovered that we make our own cannabinoids in our body. This is anandamide and 2-AG. Anandamide is something that we create when we're meditating, hence it's called the bliss molecule. And 2-AG, as well as anandamide, are released in mother's milk when a child is breastfeeding. So no wonder that child is so calm and happy when they're breastfeeding. Those two compounds are also associated with a runner's high. You know, that point when you're running and suddenly you're in bliss, you kind of break through the wall and now you just feel wonderful? Those two are the natural cannabinoids that our own bodies make and bind to our CBD receptors. So here we have our CBD receptors in our central nervous system and in our cardiovascular system, where immune cells are constantly circulating. Of course, in our bone marrow, where the cells are actually manufactured. And of course, in our immune organs. Our major immune organs are the intestines, the spleen, and the bladder. And last but not least, the lymph system. So our bodies are filled with CBD receptors. So what? Now you know the story. Why is this important? Why does this matter? Why is this important to you or me? Or if you're interested in the business of distributing CBD, why is this important to humanity? If you live in urban America or urban anywhere in the world, you are inflamed. Your central nervous system is inflamed, as well as your immune system is inflamed, and nobody is exempt because our physiological systems are under assault. Assault from environmental toxins such as herbicides, insecticides, and heavy metals, chronic biological infections such as bacteria, viruses, fungus, and molds, and last but not least, our inflammatory diets, which are very poor, usually way too much sugar, which causes leaky gut, an inflamed gut that allows certain bacterial infestations to occur that gets into our blood, into our systems. So, what kind of symptoms, what kind of stress do all these things cause to us? If your immune system is inflamed, you might be suffering from autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, inflamed bowel disease, lupus and thyroid, or fibromyalgia, or even MS, and your skin, psoriasis and eczema, and all sorts of other chronic infections. Do you realize many of these things didn't even exist 100 or 150 years ago? Incidence of these kind of diseases is growing throughout the last century, because of the environmental load of toxins that we are now absorbing into our systems. Now let's take a look at your central nervous system. If it is inflamed, what kind of things might you be suffering from? Brain fog, migraines, epilepsy, anxiety and PTSD, ADD, ADHD, autism, and insomnia. Again, 100 or 150 years ago, these kind of symptoms, these kind of diseases were really rare. And over the last 150 years, because of the insult, the ongoing insult to our systems, these kind of things are more and more prevalent with every single year. So, if you are suffering from any of these conditions, any of these symptoms, CBD might provide you with tremendous healing, tremendous relief, right through your own natural endocannabinoid system that brings homeostasis, both to your immune system and to your central nervous system. So in conclusion, what have we learned from this conversation? That health is achieved through physiological homeostasis, right through our natural endocannabinoid systems. And therefore, CBD is an indispensable catalyst for optimal health.
Now, after you watch that video, that's a scientific video based on science, no guessing. I believe that now you understand why we are so passionate about CBD movement. And on this one here, this slide, there's 2 video testimonials, and you can watch it on your own time. For the sake of time, I'm not going to play it. And although as a company, we cannot claim that CBD can cure any illness, but if you understand how your endogenous cannabinoid system and how it calibrated with CBD, you actually understand that the body itself, when it's balanced and healthy, will heal itself. But this video testimonial will give you some inside story about how people experience with the CBD. Now let's talk about Canaway products. Currently, Canaway offers 4 categories of products. Number 1 is CBD hemp oil in variety of forms, and second category is skincare products from hemp. And also recently we just launched superfood product from hemp. This is an amazing product. And then the 4th category is clothing and accessories also made from hemp. So we are very excited about our company. And in the future, there will be more exciting products based from hemp plants. Now, in this picture here, you see the picture of our CBD oils and also our skincare product. Our quality guarantee pledges is no genetically modified ingredients, no pesticides, no herbicides, or chemicals, fertilizer in our products. And our early products is, we call it Revive, Revive Pro, Revive AM, Revive PM. I personally used this product when I joined the company. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. I had bad arthritis for 14 years, and I've been taking, arthritis drugs. After I started taking this several months ago, I completely stopped taking my old drugs, just using this oil. It's an amazing product. It boosts energy levels, increase vitality, balance body system, improve mental clarity, and promotes quality sleep, encourage longevity, and also cleanses and detoxifies your body. So I recommend maybe you try this product first. Now we also have, of course, various kind of CBD oil from the highest concentrate of CBD, gold premium, and then premium caps, and we even have CBD oil that pure, that basically 99.99% free of THC. But even the one with THC is not going to make you high. It's basically, it's there as an ingredient to improve the quality of the products. Then of course, our second category, like I mentioned, is our skincare products. This is a top of the line. It made based on CBD, and of course, it will refine skin's texture, refresh and balance skin, and improve clarity. And this is totally an amazing product. Even as a man, I use some of this product. I use the serum, I use the cleanser, and also the exfoliant products. It's a totally amazing products. And then for teenager, we have a certain category of product. We call it Can Active, and this is in replacement of certain popular brand for teenager, to heal or to clean their acne from their faces. So this is probably products that very attractive to a growing teenager that concerned about their skin. And then, of course, the fourth category, I said the third and fourth category is a superfood. We call it Super Greens. This is an amazing product. I just recently got my product. This is really energized when you take it in the morning. It really gives all the nutrients that your body need, to go your way in the whole day. And then, of course, our fourth category is clothing industry. We're gonna get into heavily also in the clothing industry, which is made of hemp. So we are super excited about our products, and we'd like to invite you to try it. Now, our company also have a non-profit organization. We are very concerned about our environment, and also people that probably want to get healthy but cannot afford the product. We have a non-profit organization that can help them. And also this is an educational website that you can learn more about CBD, which is at echoconnection.org. So please visit that website. Now let's talk about the opportunity. Industrial hemp market been growing in the last 10 years, and it will continue to grow for the next 20, 30 years. And CBD is here to stay because more and more people realize the benefit of the product for their health. So a little bit about our compensation plan. In this slide here, you can read a snapshot of our compensation plan. There are 9 ways to make income in our company. I'm not going to go detail on this, but the main the key point in our compensation plan is probably this, what we call minimum income guarantee. Okay, I've been involved in many multi-level marketing company. I never seen any company that guarantee your income when you reach certain position. Now, mind you, in our company, although they say minimum income guarantee, that's the lowest you can get in any month. But in reality, our brand ambassador, when they reach this position, they make more than this. Okay, but just to make a point, the company does have a minimum income guarantee. Now, to learn more detail about our compensation plan, I would like you to watch this video on your own time. I'm not gonna play this for the sake of time, at canawaycompensation.info. And in this video, the president of our company will explain more detail about our compensation plan. All I can tell you, this is the best multi-level company that I involved with. Now, getting started in our company, of course, you join as a brand ambassador, and then you pay your annual dues, which is about $55. It's just like your membership, like somebody that get a Costco card, so entitle you to shop in the company, and also mainly entitle you to make income by promoting the products and the system to your friends or whoever that you can get in contact with. And then to get started, you just buy one of these value packs. This is heavily discounted product for somebody that just joined, so you can try some of the products. And if you are seriously want to start a part-time business, then maybe you buy the bigger pack. All the ways that if you're serious, you buy the total experience value, and all this gear for you, so you can try some of the product and share it to people that you think might be interested to use the products, or to become your partner in the business. Now, as a conclusion, our body is created by God as natural being. Therefore, we must feed and heal it with natural plant of CBD hemp oil. And prove the health benefits of CBD hemp oil to yourself first. And when you see the result on your body, then you can share it. And of course, the more you share it, the healthier will be people around you. As the byproduct of your goodwill, the healthier will be your financial future with Canaway. Now, if you ever dream to be involved in a company, to build a solid source of residual income, this is probably your opportunity. Company that has a life-changing products that everybody wants to have and continue to consume it. Also a company that has a solid system and management that 100% in control of its resources. And also a company that has a compensation plan that's very fair and super generous to its distributor. And I believe with this presentation, you found it now, Kanaway. So on behalf of our Kanaway family, I would like to welcome you to Kanaway, the CBD movement company. And for more information and to join our CBD movement, please contact the brand ambassador that shared this video to you. So again, I look forward to hear from you and looking forward also to meet you in one of the company's function in the future. Thank you for listening. God bless.